Hi students, this is Mr. Yao. In this lesson, we're going to talk about 4.11, writing quadratic functions. Instead of being given one of the forms and using that to find the important points in order to graph, this time we're going to be given some important points and we'll use them to write a quadratic function. So the informations are given, we could be given all sorts of information. If a vertex is given, we are going to start with the vertex form because that's easy to set up. We just have the h and the k. The a we don't know, we're going to need to solve for that, but at least for the setup, we're going to use the vertex form. If zeros are given, because zeros are also known as x-intercepts, we're going to start with the intercept form. So just replace the p and the q because these are going to be from the zeros. Leave the a, we're going to use another point to solve for a. Your final answer should always be in standard form. Now let's have a look at some examples. Number 1, we are given the vertex. That means we will start with vertex form. F of x equals a is always the opposite for the x, so x minus 3 squared plus 1. Now I'm going to use the other point to try to solve for a. I'm going to plug in the 6, f of 6 equals a times 6 minus 3 squared plus 1, which is going to be a times 3 squared plus 1. Which is 9a plus 1, which is negative 53. Now I'm going to solve that equation. I'm going to minus 1 on both sides. 9a equals negative 54. Divide everything by 9. My a is negative 6. That means my vertex form actually will look like f of x equals negative 6 times x minus 3 squared plus 1. But that is not done. My final answer needs to be in standard form. So now I need to change that into standard form. So f of x equals negative 6. I'm going to write it twice, x minus 3 plus 1. You have a couple ways to distribute. You can either distribute the negative 6 to the first parentheses and then distribute again, or you can do x minus 3 times x minus 3 first and then distribute later. So I'm just going to distribute the negative 6 in. So I got negative 6x plus 18, and times x minus 3 plus 1. This time I'm going to distribute everything. So I have negative 6x squared, and then I have plus 18x, I have another plus 18x, and I have minus 54 plus 1 on the end. Put together, negative 6x squared plus 36x minus 53. And that is my final answer right there, because this is standard form. Example 2. That is already given some, we're already given some zeros. That means I can start with the intercept form. F of x equals a is going to be there. It's the opposite of these numbers, so x minus 4. That is negative 6, so the opposite is x plus 6. Next, I'm going to need to plug in some points. The points that were given is negative 12, 48. So plug in negative 12. So a times negative 12 minus 4 times negative 12 plus 6. That's going to be a times negative 16 times negative 6, which is 96a, which is 48. And that means a is 1/2. Now I'm going to know my function is 1/2 times x minus 4 times x plus 6. I'm going to distribute. So I got 1/2 x minus 2 times x plus 6. I'm going to distribute again. So I got 1/2 x squared. 1/2 times 6 is 3x. Minus 2x. Then negative 2 times 6 is minus 12. Final answer, 1/2 x squared plus x minus 12. That is f of x. That is in standard form already. And we are done for number 2. Next, number 3. It's already given in vertex form, so I'm going to write it as vertex form. F of x equals a times, that is minus 1, so I need to do plus 1 squared plus 3. And y-intercept, that basically is just another point. So I'm going to plug in 0. And that's going to give me a 0 plus 1 squared plus 3, which is a times 1 squared plus 3, which is a plus 3, which is 7. After solving, my a is going to be 4. So I have f of x equals 4 times x plus 1 squared plus 3. Now I still need to put it in standard form, so I'm going to write x plus 1 twice. X plus 1 plus 3. I can distribute in the 4. I got 4x plus 4 times x plus 1 plus 3 on the end. Now I just need to just keep distributing. I'm going to have 4x squared plus 4x plus another 4x plus 4 plus 3. Put them together. F of x equals 4x squared plus 8x plus 7. That is my final answer for the standard form. Now example 4. This time, again, we're given zeros, so I'm going to use the zeros. F of x equals a times, that's the opposite, so x minus 2/3. That's the opposite, so x plus 1/4. I'm going to plug in the points, which is 1. So f of 1 equals a times 1 minus 2/3, and then 1 plus 1/4. And that is going to give me a times 1/3 times 5/4, which is 5a over 12, which is 2. So after I solve that, my a is going to be 24 over 5. Just multiply the top 12 over, then divide it by 5. So my f of x looks like 24 over 5 times x minus 2/3 times x plus 1/4. Now I just need to distribute. Do a lot of distribution. That's going to be 24 over 5x minus 24 over 5 times 2/3. That's going to be 16 over 5 then times x plus 1/4. Lastly, I still need to keep doing my distribution and see what we're going to get. So it's 24 over 5 x squared, then minus 16 over 5 x, then plus 6 over 5 x, lastly minus 4 over 5. Put them together, f of x equals 24 over 5 x squared minus 16 over 5x plus 6 over 5x, that's 10 over 5x, that's minus 2x, then minus 4 over 5. That is my final answer for the standard form. Now let's have a look at some other examples. This time we are going to be given some graphs, so we need to actually identify some information before we want to do anything else. So I can clearly see the vertex and the zeros. So you can start with vertex form or the intercept form. I can see the zeros are -2, 0, and 2, 0. So I'm just going to start with my intercept form. F of x equals a times x plus 2 times x minus 2. And I can't use my vertex or the y-intercept as my other point, which in this case is going to be 0, 4. So I'm going to plug in 0, f of 0 equals a times 0 plus 2, 0 minus 2, which is -4a, which actually is 4. After solving, a is -1. I can rewrite my function as f of x equals negative. -1 is just negative sign, x plus 2, x minus 2. I can actually distribute everything in. So I got distribute the negative sign, -x minus 2 times x minus 2. I'm just going to keep distributing. Again, get -x squared, that's minus 2x, and then plus 2x plus 4. They're gone, so my final answer is -x squared plus 4. That is my standard form. Now, number 2. We can clearly see some intercepts and the vertex. So I'm going to do -4, 0, and 2, -2, 0. These are my intercepts. So I have f of x was a times x plus 4, x plus 2. Remember, it's always the opposite. The other point I can use that looks like -3, -1. So I can plug in f of -3, is a times negative 3 plus 4 times negative 3 plus 2. A times 1 times negative 1, so it's negative a, which is negative 1. That means my a is actually just a 1. Now I can replace that. Actually do f of x equals 1 times x plus 4, x plus 2. Since it's just a 1, I can ignore it. I can just distribute the rest. So I have x squared plus 4x plus 2x plus 8, which is going to be f of x equals x squared plus 6x plus 8. That is my final answer for the standard form. Number 3, we are given intercepts again, but this time we have some decimals. And in that case, we can choose to not use it because that's going to make things very messy, but we have a very clear vertex. The vertex is going to be negative 3, negative 6. We also have a y-intercept, which is also clear, which is 0, 3. So in this case, I'm going to use my vertex. Of x equals a times, is the opposite of x, so x plus 3 squared, then minus 6 on the end. I'm going to plug in my 0, so f of 0 is a times 0 plus 3 squared minus 6, which is a times 3 squared minus 6, which is 9a minus 6, which is 3. Okay, that means I have 9a equals 9 after solving a is 1. That means my function is 1 times x plus 3 squared minus 6. I'm going to write it twice. So x plus 3 squared minus 6. And that is, well, I actually don't have the square anymore. Get rid of it. I already write it twice. So next, that means I actually have, I can distribute. So I got x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9 minus 6. Final answer, f of x equals x squared plus 6x, 9 minus 6 plus 3. And that is done for number 3. Next, number 4. Again, I don't even see any x-intercepts, but I can clearly see some vertex and the y-intercepts. So I'm going to use the vertex form again. My vertex looks like negative 1, negative 2. I can see an x-intercept, which is right there. That is 0, negative 5. So I'm going to use these 2 points. First, set it up. F of x equals a times the opposite, so x plus 1 squared minus 2. I'm going to plug in the intercept, y-intercept, f of 0, 0 plus 1, then squared minus 2. So I have a times 1 squared minus 2, which is a minus 2, which equals negative 5. That means my a is going to be negative 3. So f of x equals negative 3 times x plus 1 squared minus 2. Write it all out. X plus 1 minus 2. I can distribute in, so I have negative 3x minus 3 times x plus 1 minus 2. I can distribute again. I'm going to end up with negative 3x squared minus 3x minus 3x minus 3, the minus 2. Final answer, put it all together, f of x equals negative 3x squared. That's minus 3x, so minus 6x, minus 3 minus 2, minus 5. And that is my final answer. That is everything for 3.11. Thank you.